And my name again is Jason Miller, and I am the CEO of Getter. We are the fastest growing social media platform in history, the fastest ever social media platform to 1 million users, to 2 million users, and now I'm proud to say that we're up over 3 million users globally. And importantly, and I think this is a big deal, only 37% of our customers are in the US, 63% are around the world. So this is truly a global effort of patriots coming together to talk about their free speech rights. But I want to talk about the moment that all of us are at right now. And with everything that's going on in the world, we're very much at a moment, it's the frog in the boiling water, where the water gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And what I mean by that are our free speech rights are slowly eroding. And there are three primary reasons why that's happening, but I want to make this very clear. At this point, we truly are at a tipping point in Western civilization. This is where we decide, are we going to be about freedom? Are we going to be about strong populism and representing our own countries and pride in our own countries? Or are we going to give in to the globalist overreach? And are we going to allow all of our freedoms to be taken away? I would say to you, my friends, even though I come from America and I'm obviously not part of the EU, I do believe that we are united by this same vision of pride in our respective countries, of pride in our democratic values, and in pride of our self-destiny, of where we'll go. This is where we decide, are we going to be freedom-loving patriots? Or are we going to be a totalitarian, authoritarian state such as China? My friends, this is the defense of Western civilization. So let me talk about how we got to this point. First, much of it was from the media. Right at the beginning, in recent years, the woke mob. You've heard about wokeism. It's maybe the worst export that America has ever had. Wokeism that we sent out. We talk about cancel culture. We talk about the political correctness that has run amok. And what we've seen with the media enabling the woke mob is they have tried to cancel every group, every traditional value. They have said that we are not allowed to be patriots who are proud of our own country. Well, I am here to say that the people who are proud of their own country, who most want to work with other nations to see how we can create a better world, but you always must remember to have pride in your own country, and we should never bow down to these globalist regimes and people who say you should cede all of your sovereignty. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And so the media has now extended to where they have said you cannot talk about traditional values. They said you cannot challenge some of the lockdowns or some of the mandates that are being pushed. Again, they say you cannot use phrases such as America first or France first or Germany first or Hungary first or any other country that you might come from. And so we have seen the media being a terrible actor in this process. The second big group where I really see from this are the statists and the big governments all around the world. I will tell you, coming from the United States, what I've seen with, obviously I'm an opponent of the Biden administration, but what I've seen with the growth of government and the excuse of using COVID to take over so many of our free speech rights. Think about what happened only a year and a half ago when brave patriots would dare to say something as outrageous, such as the virus came from a lab in Wuhan. A year and a half ago we were laughed at. Now even papers like the Washington Post have to go and reverse their decisions and say, actually, you're right. Governments are following the lead of the woke mob and also of the media in taking away our free speech rights. Again, this is about our free speech, the difference between freedom-loving patriots and a totalitarian regime. The third part, and this is where I get to being the CEO of a brand new social media company, is big tech. And I do firmly believe that at some point there was a sincere belief by the big tech social media companies, maybe some 10, 15 years ago, that they wanted to spread democracy, that they wanted to help push these values all around the world. But they've become something so different. Now they seek to exercise political discrimination, to actually go and say, here is their worldview, and they're going to force it on us. And so now it's not just a matter of, say, fact checkers, who are really just opinion people, but now they go through and they're picking winners and losers in the free speech game. I believe that this is wrong. I believe that people should be able to express themselves, that social media is the digital town square where the debates of this century and in the future are ultimately going to be had. And I think that we've gotten so far away from it, again, between what the media has done, the statist governments, but also with these big tech social media platforms, which brings us to this point where we're at right now where people are not able to express themselves as they would like to online on social media. Having worked for President Trump in both 2016 and 2020, I had a front row seat to many of these battles regarding free speech. I would always tell people that President Trump's superpower, so to speak, was being able to bypass the traditional media and talk directly to voters. This isn't unique. We've also seen, you could say in the same way that whether it be the Brexit debate or whether it be President Bolsonaro in Brazil, many leaders around the world have been able to talk directly to their voters, directly to their citizens, without the filter of the media or academia or other groups. But what big tech is doing right now is they're saying you can have free speech, but only if we agree with it. This is wrong. So working for President Trump, I saw in 2020, I never would have expected in a million years that they would actually deplatform a sitting president of the United States from social media. This is, and again, if they're willing to do it to President Trump, they're willing to do it to every single one of you in this room. And the main regret that I have as a senior advisor to President Trump from 2020 is we did not develop our own social media platform in time for that election. And so as we started going into 2020, again, in addition to the what I talked about with COVID, we obviously had the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, which was not covered, and then, of course, deplatforming President Trump altogether. But as we look to the future and we see organizations such as Facebook saying they're increasing their anti-misinformation efforts around the globe, just magically and coincidentally linked up with the elections that are happening in 2022. We talk about Philippines, we talk about Brazil, we talk about France, we talk about Hungary. All what they really mean by that is that if you disagree, or I should say, if they disagree with you, you're going to find yourself sentenced to digital jail. You're going to find yourself without a voice. You're going to find yourself missing out on that very liberty that separates us from communist China. And we have to ask ourselves, are we going to allow that to happen? Or are we going to stamp and make sure that we have free speech platforms for every citizen? Every citizen, doesn't matter what country you're from, that is a God-given right to have free speech. Countries will have their own constitutions, they'll have their own legal systems, their own definitions, but that right to free speech is inalienable. This is something we're all born with, and this is literally our most important characteristic as human beings. So in July of this year, I helped to launch Getter, which again, we're now over 3 million users, and we've quickly grown all around the world, Brazil, Japan, Germany, France, the UK, all countries that are in our top group, and as we continue to grow and grow. And what we are is a platform where nobody is ever canceled for their political free speech, where we oppose cancel culture, where we will defend you and your right to express yourself. And at Getter, which I would shamelessly plug at gettr.com is the website, or on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store, that, again, is our value proposition that sets us apart from so many other platforms. Now, we do have terms of service, just in the same way that you can't walk into a pub or a cafe and threaten someone physically. You can't advocate or encourage illegal behavior on our platform. And we do have terms of service, but that is to make sure that we do protect your political free speech rights at all times. And so it's an honor to be here in the EU with so many patriots from countries. I've already met folks, I believe, from 7 or 8 different countries just in the last half hour, which is fantastic. But we are together in this fight. And one of the things I love so much is when the media looks to us and says, oh, this is a center-right echo chamber. No. This is a center-left, center, and center-right conversation from people who are unwilling to be sheep, who are going to stand up and defend their values and will never buckle, never bow, never bend to whether it be a globalist organization or a regional organization or anyone who tries to infringe on our free speech rights. And so I invite you as patriots to come and check out Getter to see what it's about, whether it be the longer post, whether it be the longer videos, whether it be the fact that you can speak freely and you can connect with your friends and family. I want you to be a part of our family, to come and connect and talk about that. And even if for some reason you decide you don't want to join Getter, look to join other platforms that are not controlled by Silicon Valley in California. Make your opinion heard and felt. Never go quiet. Never give up on this.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe by clicking that middle button. Also, check out our previous video by clicking the video on the right, or a video you might enjoy by clicking the video on the left. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this video on social media. Peace.